Ladies and gentlemen, the long and waited, highly anticipated, because we know, it's Friday, and so with the United States National High School Champions League starting 11 or thereabouts, we're going to be talking to Terry Michler, ladies and gentlemen.
Top
Terry,
of the day, Kevin. Top of the morning to you.
all right then. So you remember me.
Yeah, vaguely.
All right. So I have apologies. It's a little late calling you and so forth because I was waiting for the coffee to brew. So,
Uh, you know how you can avoid that happening?
no.
Well, do what I do.
What's that?
Do it. I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
I've yet to, I've never had that problem yet.
oh man, I'm meaning to tell you, you know, when you got the coffee, you're waiting. You gotta wait till it's brewed, and that was always a problem. So that's my problem, and I'll try to wait for the afternoon coffee when I
I've
call you.
avoided that problem over all the years. Just don't drink coffee. Anyway, best with it.
Okay, now we're gonna try this. You ready?
I'm ready, Freddie.
All right, here it is. The Select Soccer Ball. It's Wales certified, and it is the official ball of the United States National High School Champions League. And Chattanooga, Tennessee is all over it. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to. And then, you know, they could have a Virtuoso Award, with a nice select ball inside the plexiglass on top of the wooden pedestal for a lifelong admiring on the mantle. People say, "What the hell is that?" And it's, well, I was a virtuoso. That means you're the best of the best. And that's why we have that ball. Now, also in St. Louis, hopefully it will happen. We have a St. Louis sponsor, Athletic Republic. We threw out the challenge of saying, hey, help the whales get the body, mold the body of the whale. And when you're going to see me during the summer and stuff, we said, Jesus, that's Athletic Republic's work right there.
I think they're still doing research, Kevin, to that's trying to chisel that body into a sculptured uh, thing of beauty. I think they're trying to find out how to do it. Let's
Wow.
go back to the Virtuoso Award for a second because not only is it a special award, it's presented in a very, very special way. And, we're thankful to Tim McAvoy for all that he's done for us and our movement through select sport. But particularly, the Virtuoso Award was his. He came up with the word and the definition of it and the way to present it with a glass encased ball, a select ball. So credit to him for that. And I'm sure that the new entry into the Champions League will be thrilled to death to know that upon entering, they are now officially known as Chattanooga. And um, now they're officially going to be Chattanooga. And they're going to be
Mm.
certified under the heading of Chattanooga.
Well, I got some work to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Terry, you got those five, or did you drop it, left it somewhere?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. I got those.
All right, then.
That one, huh? I'll lay that on you. No extra charge. Spanish lesson. So point number one. Okay, so first and foremost, we're still in the World Cup days. Still got a ways to go. We got a full month to go. Today we're 19th. World Cup championship is August 19th. By my calendar, that's a full month. So we still got that much time to go. We just finished round one. And after round one, we got a little bit of a snapshot now of all the different teams that are involved. And as we watch the games in round one, we've seen all different kinds of games. We've seen the exciting games and the disappointing games. All boring games, the games of teams that overachieve, and games where teams underachieve. The two good things about first round games is number one, everybody gets to play, gets their feet wet, and get exposed to the circumstances of playing in a World Cup competition. And number two, you get to see everybody play. So what you've done is now not no longer unknown, but it's out there in front of everybody. So your next round opponent is going to have a better idea of what kind of a team they're facing because they just watched you play game one. So second round games, I think, are going to be critically important. The teams that won game one want to win game two and be assured of getting into the knockout round. Teams that lost game one have to try to win game two to get back into the game, right? So you can't start off losing two games in a row and hope to get through. It's not impossible. Maybe not very probable. So round two is going to have a very much more of a meaningful tilt to it because of those possible outcomes. Winning is going to be really important in round two. 3 points are going to be better than getting one, but any point is better than none. That's what round two should. So point one, the games. Well, the games involve teams. What were the teams that impressed? What were the teams that unimpressed? What were the teams that were surprising, right? So I think the two most disappointing teams in round one would have been Portugal. Both of them played weaker opponents and came out with both of them came out with draws, which I don't think either one of them were satisfied with. Their opponents were, but they certainly weren't. I think from the positive side, you have France and England and Argentina and the U.S. all had really good first round games with goals to spare. All scored a minimum of 3 goals, and then you have Germany that totaled 7 goals. So lots of different activities going on in game one. Some new faces appeared on the scene, some old faces. So we got Messi in Argentina. You got Mbappe with 2 goals for France. You got Balogun for the U.S., which in the big picture would be a new name on the scene for sure, right? Harry Kane had 2 goals for England. So we move on to round two. Second point I'm talking about today. I've been doing some research on the team, and I've looked up the population of each of the different 48 teams, and I looked up the transfer market value. Excuse me, of their starting lineup. What was the financial value of their starting lineup? And it's interesting. What I want to do at the end of the time is to look at the results and see if there's any correlation between the results and the populations and the market value. But what I found is that there's a great discrepancy in both of those. Population, for instance, the U.S. leads the pack with a population of 340 million people, and then you have like little Curacao, Cape Verde, that have about 150,000 in the country totally. So big in terms of market value, you have like France that has a total market value of their starting lineup of $862 million. Then you have the country of Jordan, which has a total market value of their starting lineup of $3 million. So look at the discrepancy there. It's amazing. There are 5 countries in the World Cup that have a total market value of their starting lineup of under $10 million total. And there's 6 teams in there that have a market value of over $500 million. So the range is really, really drastic. So it's going to be interesting to see where all those teams fit in and where they end up at the end of the day, and how much they have on the outcomes. My third point was playing style. The USA game and Australia game will be a classic case of contrasting playing styles. Both teams, I think, would be very satisfied with their first round games. The U.S. may have played the best ever first half that they played in the World Cup, and Australia should have been very satisfied with their results and their performance against probably a Turkey team, probably in a better position to have won the game based on all the information going into the game. But the actual play, the run of play, definitely favored Australia because of the way they. So what's the contrast? Well, U.S. we know is a very aggressive, go forward, high energy type of a team. When they have the ball, they want to penetrate. They want to get it forward. They want to get it on goal as quickly as they can. When they lose it, they want to press and get it back as quick as they can. A lot of energy. Australia, on the other hand, plays a low block. They're waiting back on the penalty line, basically. They're very disciplined, well organized, and patient. They play a 5-4-1. 5 in the back, 4 in front of those, 1 up top. And what they do is they keep their 5 tight, and they put the 4 right in the gaps of the 5. So they're forming triangles. There's two backs, and in front of them there's a midfield. And that midfielder forms a point of between the 2 backs. So there's very little space to play. Whereas when the U.S. played Paraguay played a back 4, and their outside back went out and defended the winger, which would have been like Pulisic. And then that adjacent center back stayed in. He didn't go out and support. So when Pulisic beat his man one-on-one, he had tons of space to advance the ball into the box and create something from that. That may not be the same case with Australia because they'll support the wide player defending in 2 ways: one in depth and one in width. So one will be next to him, and so it becomes more of a 1-on-2 or a 1-on-3 rather than a 1-on-1. And the same thing I think holds true in the middle. If they try to attack down the middle, is that Australia will have the same structure there, and the U.S. will have the same degree of difficulty. Another factor for Australia is the goalkeeper was very, very good. Turkey put a couple of threatening balls on goal, a couple from restarts, a couple from the run of play, and took a big-time save from the goalie to keep him out, which he was able to come up with. So you have a tight defense and a good goalie. That's pretty tough treading right there. And then their counterattack was good, Australia, because they have 2 lightning fast. Those kind of guys can give our backs a little bit of trouble, especially, we get stretched a little bit and they get in a 1-on-1 situation with somebody. That might not be pretty. The last thing that Australia did that was kind of interesting, wasn't a great soccer move, but maybe it was from their point of view, was that as the U.S. likes to press, when they lose the ball in the opponent's end, they like to press the defenders right away and try and win it back, assuming that the defending team is going to try to play out, try to build out of the back. Australia doesn't seem to be very interested in doing that. They would much rather, and on many occasions in the Turkey game, they did this. The backs just simply drove the ball as far downfield as they could, with as much height on the ball as they could get, and as far as they could get it to go. So when they turned it over, the opposing team backs had to go back and retrieve the ball. It never fell short in front of them. Like when Paraguay turned the ball over, it was always in front of our backs. And when it got possession of the ball, they could play forward and keep Paraguay under pressure again. So Australia will not, that won't be the same way with Australia. So we're going to have a much different game plan to execute against Australia because they're not going to allow us to play comfortably and freely the way we want to play. We're going to have to be more patient, keep the ball a little bit and wait and try and draw them out, and be opportunistic in terms of when something opens up, and be decisive with activity, with movement and action when it does open up. So it'll be a challenging game for sure. That's point number 3, playing styles. And the one thing I saw that was kind of prevalent in the round was more teams were playing with 5 in the back. They were playing a 5-4-1, a couple of 5-3-2s, but especially with the addition, the term went from 32 to 48 teams. So you got a certain amount of new teams in with little or no experience and little or not maybe as much quality as some of the other teams. So their best chance is to try and keep the game close, not let it get open. So, yeah, it makes sense that they're going to 5 in the back. My fourth point was the Japanese coach. And at the end of the Japanese-Holland game, in the press conference, the Japanese coach asked if he could have one more minute to make one more point. And the point that he wanted to make was, he said, and this is a press conference there, he said, I want to publicly thank the Dutch Federation for allowing them to send Dutch coaches to Japan and to help our coaches, myself included, get a better understanding of a higher level and start to implement Dutch philosophy into our style of play. And I know for a fact that over the years, taking groups to Holland on our Dutch touch, that there were many times that we were over there at the same time that there were groups of youth players from Japan. And I know that the coaches that we had, and Jan, my partner, had gone to Japan many times to do coaching sessions over there with their coaches. So the coaching education in Japan really came a lot from the Dutch coaches in Holland. So I thought that was a credit to the Japanese coach to take a minute out and make that point. The last point, my point number 5, was the culture exchange. When the teams and supporters from out of the country come to the U.S., they come with different images that they think the U.S. is all about, and they come from what they're used to what in some cases new to them, or in some cases heard or thought they heard, thought it was going to be. So there's a checkmate point there where yes, it's what I thought it was, or no, wow, wasn't anything close to what I thought it was, and be pleasantly surprised more often than not, as opposed to being disappointed. And the flip side of that is, as we receive all these supporters from different countries, they bring with them their culture, and we get to experience that. And I think the biggest thing is, and this was kind of ironic, it's interesting, but it's a little bit sad. Recently, last couple of days, I saw a video dual clip of the Dutch celebrating the Japanese and the Scots also in their way. And on the other side of the picture was the celebration of the New York Knicks for winning the NBA championship. And the one side showed the Japanese supporters in the stadium cleaning up the stadium, players leaving the locker room spotless. And on the other side was the Knicks fans terrorizing New York City, turning over trash cans and jumping on cars, being very, very destructive. On the one hand, you've got a very positive, passionate group of people. And they asked the Japanese kid, they interviewed a Japanese kid cleaning the stadium. They go, "Why do you do this? Why do you do this?" We do it out of respect. I thought, oh boy, that speaks volumes right there. We do it out of respect. That means that they've been brought up in a way that they respect many, many things that we take for granted, right? They respect their environment, their elders, their others. They have respect all over the place. So they leave things as it was when they came into it. And you're when you do destructive things, celebrate, and people have to come behind you and clean up your mess. There's a lack of respect there. So I was impressed with the culture thing, and you got the Scots, for instance. They're in Boston, and they went to a baseball game, and they paraded up to the baseball game and carried on once the game started in the stands, just like it was a soccer game. Baseball crowds aren't used to that kind of stuff, so that was kind of interesting. And the Dutch, they got their big orange bus, and all the followers and supporters meet, the end zone, so to speak, and they follow the bus up to the game. So just some different cultural things that maybe we can take a page out of their book and improve our pregame, postgame celebrations. Kevin, those are my 5 points.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Take notes because that's what the first week. So uh, Terry's going to give us, some weekly updates on the whole situation, and I'm impressed. So I wish you the best. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the United States National High School Champions League starting 11 or thereabouts with Terry Michler and Kevin Whalen. So long, Terry.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. Have a good day.
All right.
All right.